Glad to have you with us for another edition of the Texan Live High School Football Wrap-Up Show. I'm Sean Bajani alongside the head coach, Bert Brocker. We've got a lot of action to bring you this evening. It's playoff time, baby. A lot of drama Thursday night, Friday night, and more to even come, Bert, on Saturday.
Yeah, there were games that came down to the wire last night, literally down to late plays in the game with just a matter of less than a couple minutes, couple seconds on the clock. Teams that thought they were in, teams that may have been in our top 10 ranking are actually maybe not going to be in the playoffs. That's the cool part about tonight. We will try to wrap it up. We're still getting Mark Johnson, Russell, everybody in the background. We're getting texts from ADs, texts from head coaches. We're trying to figure it out. The good news is they don't know yet. So
right.
As we get them, we will carry them on to you. But let's get this night rocking.
I love the fluid situation and the scenarios that's ongoing tonight. As Bert mentioned, we're going to bring you 5A power rankings, 6A power rankings, obviously the playoff matchups as we continue to get them to roll in. But first, we're going to get you out to the game of the week, brought to you by TexanDrive.com. We first start you off at District 21 5A. New Caney and Crosby playing for the 21 5A title this evening. Crosby and New Caney from Cougar Stadium as the Cougs try to run the table. Here's the action. Chase Snyder had the call.
Cooper keeping it going left, finding a lane. There goes Jordan Cooper. Goodbye. Touchdown, New Caney. No penalty flags. And Howard shotgun. Keeping it himself, making defenders miss, turning it upfield. Howard is in for the touchdown. What a play! Cooper in the shotgun. Gonna fire right. Hauled in by MacArthur. Turning it upfield, and MacArthur is gonna go in for the New Caney touchdown. 4th down and 11 from the 27-yard line, up by 15. Cooper to throw, stepping up, firing deep towards the end zone for MacArthur, and he got it! Touchdown! New Caney on 4th and 11. Dwight MacArthur with his 2nd touchdown of the night. Howard steps up, fires middle, hauled in inside the 20. Going into the end zone is Cedric Patterson. Touchdown, Crosby. 2nd down and 9, Howard. Fires over the middle, hauled in, Patterson, turns it upfield. Patterson inside the 30, cutting it back left. Patterson is going to take it all the way again. Touchdown, Crosby. Robles right side, looking for his 3rd rushing touchdown of the night. Breaking tackles and going into the end zone. Touchdown, New Caney. New Caney getting their revenge this year. 2nd and 11. Howard pumps. Gonna go towards the end zone. Pass is caught. Touchdown, Chance Smith.
There you have it, 63-38. New Caney over Crosby. The Eagles upsetting the Cougars on their home field. What happened to the Crosby Cougars this evening?
Well, I think the big thing is as I said, and I've been saying it for, I think, every week, Crosby is really, really good. They ended up scoring 38 points. But they were down in this ball game big early. I don't know how long Craig Williams played. I know he had an injury last week with his shoulder. I did see him in the game. He did score. So it's just one of those situations where Crosby, we said they're only as good as their shootout type offense. Tonight, New Caney jumped out early and got ahead in the ball game. And even with the firepower they have, you saw Patterson, you saw Howard, you saw all the big play action. They just couldn't get back into the game because every time they scored, they allowed, New Caney to score. Jordan Cooper, what a night he had tonight. Jordan separated himself big time in this ball game. So, this is a team. They got almost, I don't want to say humiliated, but they got walloped by Barbers Hill 3 weeks ago. They come out last week and shut out, Porter for most of the ball game.
Yeah.
And I believe they did shut him out for 27-0. And then they come back tonight for the district championship, for an opportunity to win the district solo.
On the road.
they put up a big evening tonight.
You've been talking about Crosby's defense really all season long. We knew how potent their offense was, is, and obviously still can be. And you and I have gone back and forth on this about their defense, and I think tonight it really came through that, you know, at the right time you want to be clicking on all cylinders, and Crosby certainly still has some work to do. But a huge congrats and a big victory again by the New Caney Eagles to upset Crosby, not only just on their home field, but Crosby was looking to run the table this evening and go a perfect 10-0 on the regular season, 8-0 in district, and that's not going to happen. As far as the playoff scenario goes for New Caney and Crosby, do we have information as of yet, Bert, in terms of who they're going to be playing first?
Yeah, and I was just getting more as the phone will be beeping, so I apologize tonight. Crosby's playing P&G on Friday night. Porter's playing Netherland, and New Caney's playing Vider. Looking to see. We got another big game that I'm not going to talk about right now. And a little later in the show, and I definitely need you to hang around. There is a lot of teams that backdoored into the playoffs. They had good records. They played good football, and we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Some of them backed in, and some of them kicked the door down, and they earned their spot this evening. And we'll get to it here a little bit later on. Right now we're going to stick with 5A and stick with District 21 5A. Barbers Hill and Porter, winners of 5 straight coming in. Barbers Hill needed to beat Porter tonight for their seat at the table in the postseason. Patin Delgadillo had the call from Texan Drive Stadium. Take a look.
Now Porter's going to send their field goal unit out here, try to get on the board first here.
That's Roosevelt Arizpe on the kick. Nails it through the uprights.
That's going to be close. Let's see what they do here. Touchdown, Spartans.
Carlos Norman.
Yeah, Norman there was in the pistol formation and runs right behind his 2 big men, and that was a late call, but I believe he did get into the end zone there.
3 wideouts. Here on first down is Dalton Holland on his feet inside the 5, steps in the end zone, touchdown Eagles.
Yeah, he did a nice job right there, being patient.
Here it is. Russell with a pass. They've been working on that one all night as it's Zion Bell. Pass completed, and Bell able to work his way out across midfield where he's wrapped up and brought down at the 48.
That's going to be your ball game, folks.
And that was the ball game. Called by Bert Brocker and Patin Delgadillo. 10-7 the final. Porter over Barbers Hill. Big victory for Porter. What'd you see? Because there was nothing doing in the second half from either one of these squads this evening.
Well, I think the big thing you saw is Porter's defense been really good. You know, Russell tonight had some balls dropped. Actually, Bell had a couple drop balls. But one of the things that I noticed tonight was both of these teams, and as we talked about, Barbers Hill will not make the playoffs. There'll be more to be teased on that a little later in the program. But this is one of those situations where this is a team that looked like they had positioned themselves with a big victory over New Caney to get into the playoffs hot. And all of a sudden you come in here tonight and Porter's defense played a phenomenal game. Both teams, when they got in the red zone, had turnovers and mistakes. And that really is what killed Barbers Hill tonight. They had 3 interceptions. They had a turnover down around the 17-yard line. And then, of course, that pass to Bell. You know, they tried that play 3 other times. All 3 times it hit him in the hands for whatever reason. Coach Holly, what a big dial up there late in the ball game. Looked like they were going to run it, try to run the clock out, put their defense back out on the field. Instead, throws the ball in the air. Bell comes down with it, rumbles for about 17 yards after contact. Porter gets a victory heading into the playoffs, and I know Coach Holly and that crew, that's what they were looking for.
Before we get you some more playoff pairings to come, we'll take a look right now at the 5A power rankings. And, you know, Bert mentioned some teams moving up, some of them moving down, and some will completely be moved out. As you see here from 10 all the way up through 5, a lot of movement there, but one thing that's remained a constant, Bert, and maybe it changes going forward now with the loss tonight by Crosby, is that top 4 can see some movement.
Yeah, exactly. Manville took care of business tonight. Angleton took care of business. You know, Manville, you know, the question will be is, can Manville stay out of their own way, run the table, and win the state championship? Last year they got knocked off late by Temple, a game they feel like, and they look back. They traveled all the way. It was supposed to be in San Antonio, Instead, it got moved, and we went up and covered that game. It got moved up to Jerry's World and, you know, up at AT&T Stadium. And that was a game. It looked like last year this Manville team could run the table. This year they come back very, very dominant. The big question will be is can they finish off their year? A couple of these teams coming into the playoffs hot in 5A. Will somebody knock them off along the way?
We do want to remind you as well, going forward on Friday nights, football games live on TexanLive.com. You can check those out. Also, playoff passes, individual game purchases, they're also available for the playoffs at TexanLive.com. So please make sure you check that out for all your high school football action to come in the coming weeks. We head out to District 24 6A, Clearbrook and Dickinson going at it this evening. Heavy playoff implications involved in this game this evening. Winner clinches the final playoff spot in District 24 6A. The Wolverines and Gators from Sam Vitanza Stadium. Paul DeVore had the call.
And now Garcia back to pass, throws down the middle, got a man there, Chapman, and it's going to be intercepted. Picked off as Brian Broussard may have come up with it. The Gators, they want to go quickly. Parker has a back to his left. It's Dylan Savage. Turn, run a read draw with him, and Parker right up the middle. Breaks a couple of tackles, and Parker's still on the run at the 20, and Montel Parker touchdown. Just like that, a couple of plays, and the Gators are in the end zone. So the Wolverines will go quickly. Bunch formation. Garcia going to try to use that size. Reaches out and scores. Right side is Parr and Lastis, and then Alanese and Retta on the left side. Parker takes a snap, turn, hand it off up the middle. It's Miles Lewis. Lewis inside the 5, touchdown, Miles Lewis. To the far side, take the snap. Montel keeps it on a read option. Right up the middle, Montel's on the run. He's at the 25. Montel cuts to the right side, and Montel Parker will score. So 3rd down and goal. Collins back to pass. Looking, throws across the middle, fires. Weidemeyer, touchdown. Jalen Weidemeyer. There he is, Mike. 4th down and 1 then. Garcia back to pass, looking and throws down the middle. He's got Chapman caught, touchdown. In motion towards the formation, handed off to Miles Lewis. Lewis trying the right side. Lewis is on the run. He's got the 30-yard line. Miles down to the 20. Miles to the 10. Miles Lewis, touchdown.
48-21, the final. The Gators take it over the Wolverines. Dickinson improves to 7-2 on the season, 5-2 overall in district. They clinch that final playoff spot. Tremendous victory for Dickinson.
Yeah, it really was. And Dickinson, beat Dawson last night for the district championship. So Dickinson will go on the road back to face on Elise Hastings for that district championship. And you know, what a big game. We were there last year, and you know, it was a back and forth ball game. And so should be another exciting game coming up this next week.
No question. District 25A action now. Tomball and Tomball Memorial going at it this evening. Tomball Memorial and Tomball both 3-3 in district. Now, this one, there was a lot of moving and shaking that could have been going on depending the outcome of this game. However, you know, we like to keep things a little simple here. J.W. Smith called it from Tomball Stadium. I'm going to tell you this. Tomball just needed a Brenham win over Magnolia. So we'll get you that score here in just a second. But right now, take a look at the J.W. Smith call from Tomball Stadium.
And here's the snap. Fakes to give. Now he's looking at Boutreau. He's going to be tossing the ball. It's going to be caught at the 25-yard line. Boutreau takes off towards the end zone, and he'll dive. Touchdown, Cougars. 3-play drive takes them down to the end zone, and they strike first with 10:45 to go in the gun. The snap, fakes the handoff, drops back to pass. He's looking for Taylor at the midfield marker, and he's going to make the catch and goes under a man. Now he's going to go towards the near side. He might go all the way down to the 15-10, tries to stiff arm, and he falls into the end zone. Touchdown, Cougars, on an amazing pass and catch from Hunter Dunn. Stadium on the home side for the Wildcats. Here's the snap. Drops back to pass, looking for Boutreau down on the far side at the corner of the end zone, and he's going to make the catch. It is a touchdown by Austin Boutreau. Decision to make in the playbook. Here's the trips to the far side. They'll take the snap, drops back to pass. He'll step up under some pressure. Now he's going to toss to the far side. He's got Grice open. He makes the catch at the 16-yard line and goes into the end zone. Touchdown, Wildcats. You might go deep and just go for it on 4th down. Here's the snap. Hands the ball off to Holland, going up the middle, stutter steps, finds his way through, across the 40-yard line, down to the 20, to the 15, 10, 5, and he is in the end zone for a touchdown. And in motion, fakes the sweep, drops back to pass. It's going to be a screen play. It's going to be caught at the 10-yard line by Bryce Perkins, and he takes a 3-yard field goal. Hutchins gets set. The kick is going to go up, and it is through the upright. So
38-35, Tomball gets the big victory over Tomball Memorial this evening. Now, I mentioned Brenham needed to beat Magnolia, okay? And before I even get any further, the winner of this game, regardless, needed help to get into the playoffs.
Absolutely.
So a Brenham win over Magnolia, Burt, would have given the victor of this Tomball Memorial game a seat at the table. Now, obviously, Tomball wins this game. However, Magnolia did not lose to Brenham. In fact, Magnolia beat Brenham. So now there's a three-way tie between Magnolia, Brenham, and Tomball. And now that's got to be determined by head-to-heads. And if they'd all split, then there's, of course, point differential.
Yeah, we got a text into Vince Sebo, AD, out there. So we're trying to get the, excuse me, the final of how that laid out and who did make the
And we'll come back and give that to you as soon as we get that information, as things are continuing here to be fluid this evening. We're going to get you that information as we get it. Katy ISD action brought to you by the City of Katy. We go to District 19-6A right now. Seven Lakes and Morton Ranch. Seven Lakes and Morton Ranch in their season finale this evening. The Spartans and Mavs from Legacy Stadium. Patrick Creighton with an exciting call. Take a look.
Moving right to left. Batten, quick screen, it's complete. It's an option pass going deep and complete at the 40, 30, 20. They're not going to get him. Touchdown, Spartans. To the left. And Batten on the keeper up the middle. He's got room. Breaks through. 10, 5. Touchdown, Spartans. Favorite easy chair. 1st and 10. Batten rolling right. Fires. End zone. Touchdown, Spartans! Batten fakes the handoff, looks, throws deep over the middle, and it's caught into the end zone. Touchdown, Bloomfield! Ross in the gun, Bennett in the backfield. The give, he fakes it, he keeps it himself. Left side, he's got room. First down, Ross to the end zone. Touchdown, Mavericks! Mavericks have an unguarded receiver over here. They should have snapped the ball quicker. Now looking, left side. It's complete. Bradford dives to the end zone. Was he out of bounds? No signal from the official. There it is. Touchdown. Ross to throw over the middle. Looking for Bradford. Touchdown, Mavericks. Ross rolling, throws, end zone. Touchdown, Mavericks. It's Bradford again.
Tremendous call by Patrick Creighton. The final there's Seven Lakes over Morton Ranch, 42-34. No playoff implications in that game, but we stick with District 19-6A. Mayde Creek and the Katy Tigers going at it this evening. You know, that district, Burt, already sewed up entering play tonight. Katy, Cinco, Ranch, Strake, and Katy Taylor having already clinched playoff spots. Katy just simply trying to clinch the district title outright this evening and run the table. Michael Silvers had the call from Rhodes Stadium. Take a look.
Jacob Leiter is the tight end. It is 3rd down and 2 from the 46. Pitch right, DeAndre Glass gets a block from Mason Rivera. Slices through, breaks tackles over the 40, 35-30. Cut back inside across the 15-10, and he will get into the end zone for the Tiger touchdown. 1st and goal. And a pitch left to DeAndre Glass, looking for blocks to develop. He breaks a tackle and runs into the end zone for yet another Katy Tiger touchdown. Tight end in motion, setting up to the left is Garner. Pitch left to Oglesby. Oglesby to the outside 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. It's been that simple, all by Seth Small here in the 3rd quarter, trailing 49-0. A right-footed kick, it's end over end. It'll be taken at the 5-yard line by Strong. Up the middle wedge, 25, 30, 40, midfield, and he could go. How about the start for the Mayde Creek Rams? Touchdown on the kickoff return.
This week or anytime going forward in the playoffs.
3rd down and 18. McClellan just on the delay play, and Buteau wide open real estate right side, galloping over the 30 in Ram territory. 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown.
There you have it, 62-7, the final. The Tigers over the Mayde Creek Rams. Katy improving to a perfect 8-0 on the regular season overall, 7-0 now in District 19 6A. As we mentioned, that district already sewed up, Bert. Now, playoff pairings that we have, do we have information as far as what Katy's going to do going forward?
I did not get those in yet. I've got Mark Johnson. He's here in the studio right now trying to look through Katy ISD and figure out exactly where they'll all lay out. I know they were waiting on some other district to come in with exactly how the layout will be, but we'll try to get that here to you before midnight. And
I know you didn't anticipate a misstep this evening by Katy, but 62-7, taking care of business over Mayde Creek as they should, right where Gary Joseph and his team wants to be going in.
Well, and DeAndre was our player of the week, so you'll get to hear from Gary and get to hear from this Katy Tiger team. And, you know, it's just discipline. It's just unbelievable. You know, year in, year out, you take a look at the athletes that he has and how he coaches them up and does a great job of next man up football. And so we'll hear a little bit more of that here a little later in the program.
No doubt. Right now, time for our 6A top 10 6A power rankings. As we take a look at the screen right now, and big surprise. There you have it. Number 1, Katy, now 8-0 overall on the season, 7-0 in district as they wrap up the regular season. Klein Collins coming in at 2, Westfield at 3. No movement, Bert, except you get there to the bottom, and we had some movement between 9 and 10. Ridge Point dropping to 10. Cinco Ranch climbing up a little bit at number 9. Atascocita in there strong at 8. Lamar at 7. Langham Creek 6. And Cy Fair is 5. Going forward, who's impressed you, the most right now, and where do you think we could see more movement as we get into the playoffs next week?
Well, I just think the big thing is there's a couple teams that are really good, but injuries are plaguing them a little bit. I know that we'll talk about Cinco Ranch. Keefe's out, big part of what their offense is. So the question will be, that's a team that had got hot again that I felt like could make another run this year. But when you lose the kind of athlete that their running back is, it just separates how deep you can go, because, can you have next man up step up that quick when it's only had one game to play? So it'll be interesting to see how all that lays out.
Well, let's go to District 16 6A. We had more playoff implications on the line as the MacArthur Generals took on the Dekaney Wildcats. Thursday night action brought to you by Panera Bread. MacArthur and Dekaney from Thorne. Mark Johnson had the call. Take a look.
Far behind him in Eisenhower, 2-4 records. Stepping back at midfield, tossing this one up the middle, wide open. That is going to be a 40-yard touchdown pass right up the middle. Middle of that on the coverage. Along with Joshua Eat. A lot of these guys having to play Ironman football here. On the screen. That is going to be complete. Good for the first down. What else can he do with it as he cuts it across the field to the 10? Inside, a touchdown to Caney. An amazing run there. They have scored on every offensive possession in this game thus far. Handoff up the middle. This one could go for 42 yards, and it will. 42-yard touchdown run for Dekaney's running back, Aaron Thomas, his second rushing touchdown of the game. 31-0 Dekaney as they're driving here in 1st and 10. They're going to toss it downfield immediately. That pass is going to be caught in the back of the end zone. They did not score the third quarter, and just one play in the fourth.
38-0. The Dekaney Wildcats take it over the MacArthur Generals. MacArthur now 2-5 in district play, 2-6, Bert, on their season. As Dekaney gets a big win in a big way, as you saw it, 38-0 there. Dekaney 4-3 in district, 6-3 overall on the season. There was a lot of things that could have happened within District 16 6A, but Dekaney really kind of nixed a lot of that.
Yeah, and Westfield, what a year they've done, and they've got a great season going. they're one of our top ranked teams, as you'll see here a little later in our polls. But, you know, it's just Dekaney's played good, solid football. They've lost a couple tough games. But, you know, it's just there's so many schools here in the greater Houston area that can get hot headed into this postseason.
No question. District 21 6A is where we take you out to next. The North Shore Mustangs at Turner Stadium last night against the Summer Creek Bulldogs. North Shore and Summer Creek battling it out in that district ball game. The winner takes second place in district behind Atascocita. Jeremy Branham was out there with the call and the action. Take a look.
Takes the snap. Handoff Evans running right towards the goal line, and he's in. Zach Evans takes it in from 9 yards out and along. Give it to Evans, running over to the right side. Gets outside the tackle to the 50. He breaks a tackle, and he's loose down the sideline to the 30.
He's
20,
gone.
10-5 touchdown. Zach Evans, for the second time tonight, gets into the end zone with 4:16 to play in the first. North Evans running left, first down and more. He's across the 25 to the 20, breaks a tackle, and he's gone. That's the third touchdown for Zach Evans tonight, and we still have 10:46 left to play in the first. Play clock under 9, shotgun set, Holcomb. Holcomb's going to launch it into the end zone, left side for Cormier, who again goes up. Handoff, faking it. Serta's going to keep it himself, runs right, cuts it inside across the 20, down to the 10-5, and into the end zone goes Isaac Serta. A 20.
There you have it, 34-7. North Shore takes it over Summer Creek. The Mustangs finished the district play at 6-1. And knocking Summer Creek off to 5-2 in District 21 6A. You know, that was a really interesting start to last night's ball game as North Shore looked all kinds of discombobulated, had a lot of false start penalties, really couldn't mesh, get together offensively. And, you know, they kind of figured it out. As you saw there in the highlights, Zach Evans, the freshman, running for 4 touchdowns for the North Shore Mustangs as they look primed and ready to go.
Well, you know, and I actually was there. I colored the game with Jeremy Brenham last night, and you know, you're exactly right. They had 5 penalties every time that they would get themselves in a good place. They would do something that would back them up. But at the end of the day, Evans helped them finish off that first drive, scoring. They had 2 young men. I'm going to tell you what. I watched North Shore play 4 games this year. Last night, the speed of sophomore quarterback Hagan and then freshman quarterback Davis, they look completely different. It just looked like a different team last night. Of course, Evans not only has the speed when he wants to turn the jets on, but he loves to run north and south and run over people. And there was another game, district championship, Deer Park. Chris Massey, great friend, known him forever, Coach Massey. They win the district, and guess what you get for winning your district?
The North Shore Mustangs.
You get the North Shore Mustangs your first game. So, you know, a big win for Deer Park. Congratulations, Coach Massey. Couldn't be proud of you for winning district. But, well, you got a big one next week with Coach K and the Mustangs coming into play.
It's going to be big, you know, but I will say this. Is North Shore as good as they looked at times last night, Bert? I still, you know, am a little iffy on this quarterback by committee between Davis and Hagan. I don't know exactly how that's going to play out, but once they got going, you saw it last night, there didn't seem to really be any chemistry issues. I just wonder in terms of, you know, little small technical things from cadence calls, you know, to just read option and things like that, how that team is going to be able to really get the ball rolling early on in games and impose their will.
Yeah, and you know, again, in their defense, you know, we've known they were good. They had a game against Atascocita that they gave up 34, but Atascocita, Jack Rowe, a lot of speed, allowed the Edge to get this 14-14 going in at halftime in that particular game. Atascocita took control, but don't forget, last year, North Shore beat Atascocita to win the district championship, and then Atascocita revenge got them in the playoffs after they knocked off Katy. So there's a lot of football to be played, and now we're in one and done. So this is where it really counts. I mean, every game's important from here out. Not that the ones coming in tonight wasn't, but you don't get an opportunity to come back and fix mistakes starting this next week.
No doubt about it. In terms of mistakes and trying to fix them, Cy Lakes and Jersey Village going to have to wait till next year to work on those things. District 17 6A, that is a stacked division. A lot of action, a lot of movement going on not necessarily for the Spartans and Falcons this evening. Jersey Village, losers in 6 of their last 7, just trying to finish off the season strong and on a high note Thursday night opposite the winless Cy Lake Spartans. Scott Weiss had the call from Cy Fair FCU Stadium. Take a look.
Shotgun formation, Flowers in motion lefts. Johnson fires left on the slant, hauled in. Richardson breaks a tackle, and he's in for the touchdown. Raymond Richardson puts the Falcons on the board first. Rolling left, firing on the run, that's complete. That's Solomon finding a seam. Solomon up the sideline. Solomon, touchdown. Ted Solomon. Mitchell up the middle, finds a hole. Open field, Mitchell is going to score. Touchdown, Cy Lakes. 30 yards out, Mitchell. Since Flowers in motion, he looks that way. Now he comes back right. Coming back left. Running with it. Johnson inside the 5. Diving! Down inside the 1. Oh my goodness. Mitch out to the right. To Mitchell. Mitchell has a hole. He might be gone again. Mitchell up the sideline. Still going. Mitchell. Touchdown. Cy Lakes. Left side fade. Touchdown. Raymond Richardson.
42-26, the final as Jersey Village takes it over Cy Lakes. Cy Lakes finishes their regular season at 0-10, as well as in district play. Jersey Village improving to 3-6 on the season. We'll go back to Friday night action now, sticking with Cy Fair, though, in District 17-6A. Cy Falls and Cy Creek. Big game for both of these teams tonight as both the Eagles and Cougars, Bert, entered in a tie with Cy Ranch at 4-4 in the district. Quite simply, all Cy Falls had to do was get a win to nix any other scenario from keeping them out of the playoffs. Scott Weiss called it from Pridgeon. Take a look.
2 wide outs both sides. Goodwin has the ball, hands off, right down the middle, and it looks like he might be able to get the 6. Touchdown, Eagles! Renteria's in back, 2 wide outs left, 1 right. Scrambles over to the left, note, comes back over to the right, throws, and hits a man over here, and he's got real estate. He can run with the right blockers. Oh, he skipped over 2, 3, 4. He's running over down. He's now midfield. He's angling over for the end zone. Touchdown, Cougars! Goodwin has it, looking downfield, throws over to the left, throws along into the end zone, and touchdown, Eagles! Right, shotgun formation, handoff to the middle, and there's nothing. Oh, that's it. This is going to be a touchdown for the Eagles, and it is touchdown. Has the snap, looking downfield, going to be a Hail Mary type play, and it's caught! It is caught! Touchdown, Cougars! Anthony Escobedo. There is no time left in the game.
51-27, the final. Falls over Creek. That's all they had to do, Bert, was get the dub, and they get it in a big way.
Yeah, they did. And, it's a nice job by them. They put up a bunch of points. But, again, their defense has been suspect for letting other teams put up. So, be interesting to see, can their offense outrun, outscore as you get into the playoffs. I did get a text just a second ago from Vince Sebo. Neither Tomball team made the playoffs, so I guess at the end of the day, points for however it broke down, I guess that puts the Brenham Cubs into the playoffs. I also picked up some more games here. Katy will play Travis on Friday. Cinco Ranch will play Ridge Point on Friday. And Straight Jesuit will play Fort Bend Hightower on Friday. So that gets you up out of that district. So we're going to continue to get all kind of different text in throughout the evening. If we've missed anybody, if you have a team out there, we got a lot of folks watching, a lot of folks texting in. feel free to text us and let us know what we're missing so far.
No doubt we'll pass it along to you as we can here on TexanLive.com. We'll stick with District 17-6A, the Cy Ridge Rams and Cy Springs Panthers. Both of these teams from Cy-Fair FCU Stadium tonight. Spring, unfortunately for them, playing with nothing on the line in their regular season finale, having lost the head-to-heads with Falls, Ranch, and Creek in the district. Jay Darneal called it, though, between the Rams and Panthers from FCU Stadium. Take a look.
9:05 remaining. There's the play. And touchdown. Fletcher looks to be the deep man. No, that's Wellington. The give is to Wellington up the middle across the right side. Touchdown. First down and goal to go for the Panthers. The give across the right side. And that's a touchdown by Barber. 4-yard touchdown by Barber. Gives Cy Springs another early lead here. 11:02 remaining in the ball game. Springs already up by 10, looking to punch it into the end zone again here. West under center. Keeps it himself. Touchdown! Wellington and Justice Porter in the pistol. Give is to Wellington across the left side. Barely touched. Bounces it outside. Touchdown, Wellington.
There you have it, 27-24. Springs over Ridge. A couple of more playoff pairings to pass along to you as well as we get more finals from District 17-6A. Cy Falls will take on Lamar, and Cy Ranch will take on Bel Air. That's next week, both of those games. So, again, as we continue to get more information, we'll pass it along to you as well. Really a good ball game there between the Rams and Panthers, Bert.
Yeah, it really was. You know, and again, we just you try to build on things. You try to figure out where you're at, and nice job by them of getting the victory and building on that. And did get one more in. Katie Taylor will play Fort Bend Bush, so that's in. Don't know the exact night and time yet, but that's the pairing. Of course, all this can be repicked back up. We will have the full schedule. More importantly, we've got to get clearance on every game we're going to do. There's a lot of them next week, so we'll have all that up on Monday. So you can go back to Texan Live, figure out exactly what games we've got. And, of course, once you get in the playoffs, everything's lifted. If it's a Thursday night game, we got full video, audio. You can put it on any of your smart devices. You can do any of our TV apps. You can watch it right on your TV, Roku, etc. And so Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. From here out, every game will have live video and audio.
As well as playoff passes and individual game purchases also available for the playoffs on TexanLive.com. Do not forget about that. Coming up, we've got a couple of more Friday night games to get out to, including Spring and Nimitz, as well as Kingwood Park and Humble. Right now, though, it's time now for our Houston Area Viewers' Choice Player of the Week honors. This week, it features DeAndre Glass, and why wouldn't it? What a week he had last week for the Katy Tigers. Take a look.
Hey guys, Texan Live here to present this week's Viewer's Choice Athlete of the Week, brought to you by TexanDrive.com. From Katy High School, DeAndre Glass. Coach, talk to me about what kind of athlete DeAndre is.
Well, he's a really good athlete. He's a good football player, as much as he is an athlete and stuff. But he does a good job. He's really worked to improve himself this year. Coming off the injury he had last year, it was a work in progress and process. And he's had to fight through some tough times, and it's showing up now that he's getting back where he was.
Up the middle goes Glass, breaks a tackle, cuts inside, and he's loose across the 50, into straight territory to the 40, down the right sideline to the 35-30, sheds another tackler to the 20, down to the 10-5, and into the end zone. DeAndre Glass.
Touchdown.
Well, it's important that we've had a history of having really good running backs around here, and he's the next in line, and he's the next one, and he understands that, and hopefully he can continue, getting us where we need to go and stuff.
This is Bronson McClellan, the quarterback, and he hands it off to DeAndre Glass, left side, breaking tackles across the 10-5, touchdown. Here's handoff, huge hole, DeAndre Glass. And he races over the 35-30, stays on his feet outside the numbers 20 and down to the Tompkins 16.
Tied in motion right to left. Pitch out to Glass. Glass running left side. Glass diving into the end zone. He's in for the 4th time tonight.
Touchdown.
Center is the quarterback Marshall. Pitch left Glass. Finds a hole to the outside 30, 25, and he is tackled around the 20-yard line on the far side.
DeAndre, how does it feel to win this kind of award?
Well, it feels really good, you know. I won this before when I was a freshman. I think I was actually the first freshman to ever win it, but, you know, being a long process, hurting my knee last year, and then having to come back off of a major injury like this, I've been working really hard, and then it feels good to be good enough to get it back.
Handoff, Glass leaping into the end zone. DeAndre Glass from 2 yards in will punch it in, and the Tigers are on the board first, 6-0.
Last week you had 13 carries. You had 4 touchdowns. Talk to me about last week's game.
Well, you know, we went to the game very prepared. You know, the coach always makes sure that we know everything that's going on. We do scouting reports on the defense, you know, the Wildcats, everything. We want to read our holes. We practice very hard, you know, so when we get in the game, we don't just going out there blind. We want to know everything that's going on so that we could execute the way we do.
And y'all are going into playoffs. This is the last week of regular season, so what are the expectations going into the playoffs?
Well, obviously, being knocked out in the 3rd round last year wasn't a good feeling. So this year, we want to go further. You know, we really want to go to state. You know, we're going to continue to improve every single week and do everything we can to try to make sure that we're the best team and be holding up the trophy in the end.
All right, congratulations on this award. Go enjoy it.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, folks, we said there was going to be some exciting things to announce, and guess what, folks? Kingwood Park, I do turn my head here. There's not very many helmets that can handle all this brain power, but baby, this one does. Kingwood Park is going to the playoffs. They are back in the playoffs. Great job, guys. And I'll kick it back to you, Sean.
Got a headache now.
I got a brick head.
Oh my gosh. All right, yes, as you mentioned, Kingwood Park back in the playoffs. They had to take on Humble this evening at Turner Stadium. I'm trying, man. They needed help, though. Like this guy. He needed help. Still needs help. They got it, but they took care of their own business. Take a look at the highlights. Mark Johnson had the call.
Waiting on the snap here. Toss on the near sideline. Looking for that target again, and this time I think he got it. The catch is going to be made at the 21-yard line and out of bounds. There he is again. Andrew Tisdale, surging programs. Another fade on the near sideline. That pass is going to be caught and diving into the end zone. That is going to be a 25-yard touchdown strike as Pena will find his man Andrew Tisdale as Humble strikes first, 6-0. Running this himself, trying to get into the end zone, diving forward. There it is, a 2-yard touchdown run for Kingwood Park. First down and goal again for Kingwood Park. Here's the handoff. Big man will take it up the middle. Bresco again will take it up the middle himself. He looks like he's got it this time, and he is. Kingwood Park, the 1-yard touchdown run. McElroy with the carry on the left side. It's a stiff arm. He's towards the end zone. McElroy gets into the end zone. A 25-yard run from him as Kingwood Park puts a little more edge between them and Humble.
Kingwood Park 31-17 victors over the Humble Wildcats. Kingwood Park 5-3 overall on the season and in district play. I said they needed help, and they got it tonight. Porter needed to beat Barbers Hill for Kingwood Park to get in with a win themselves, and Porter, of course, knocked off Barbers Hill 10-7 in that ball game. Kingwood Park, tremendous finish to the season, 31-17 victor over the Humble Wildcats. Bert, huge.
Well, yeah, you know, and this is a team that really was in the game against Porter and could get hot in the playoffs. This is another team. Now, you got to realize they're going out there, they're going up against some tough competition. Anytime you got the P&Gs and the Port Arthurs and all those teams out there, and of course, that's who K Park will take on, the Nitterland, the Vider. I mean, these teams, they're all really good teams that come from out of that area. But every one of these 21-5A teams could get hot and win some games and go deep in the playoffs. I don't know if any of them are stacked deep enough to win a state championship, but I would sure like to see one of them prove me wrong.
We saw it already tonight with New Caney just beating up on the Crosby Cougars on the road in Crosby. I mean, that was a huge victory, and as you mentioned, all it takes is just to get hot at the right time. And as we saw, New Caney's got their offense rolling. Kingwood Park looks like they've got it rolling offensively, as you saw there in the highlights. So good stuff out of District 21 5A. Final game of the evening, District 16 6A is where we take you next. The Spring Lions taking on the Nimitz Cougars. These two teams in this district, Spring had already clinched their spot in the playoffs. Well, Nimitz, they're still playing for one of the final two spots between themselves, Eisenhower, Davis, and Dekaney. Darren Ayers had all the action for you from Thorne Stadium. Take a look.
Formation. They're going to hand the football off, and it's going to be Xavier Roan, and he's going to have a touchdown. A 20-yard touchdown run by the junior running back Roan. Two wide receivers to the left. Inside reverse, heading to the near side. 10, 5, can he get in? Touchdown! McDowell in the gun. He's going to hand the football off to Sedquan Owens over the left side. Plenty of room. 40, 45, 50. It's a foot race down the sidelines. 40, 30, 20. Sedquan Owens dives for the pylon. Touchdown! McDowell in the gun. Play action. Looks deep. Throws it to the end zone for Pearson. Touchdown!
49-6. The Spring Lions take care of business over the Nimitz Cougars. Spring 6-1 in district. That's how they finish up 8-1 overall on the season. Bird, as Nimitz falls to 3-4 in district, 3-5 overall on the season. Great big finish by the Spring Lions this evening.
Well, and again, you know, their only loss is to Westfield, and we have talked about Westfield quite a bit, and
right.
You know what Coach Meekin and his crew has done there. So, you know, the thing you look at, and you'll get an opportunity to see who we feel the top 10 teams are. There are a lot of other teams that very easily could get hot at the right time, and we saw that last year. And I keep going back to Cinco Ranch, but they made it all the way to the semifinal game, and going into the playoffs, you know, there's not very many people would have put them making it to that level. But that's the talent that comes here out of the Houston area. And, you know, we got to go up to Jerry's World because that's where the state championships are at, AT&T Stadium. But you know what? There's teams here in Houston right now very easily could be there and very easily could be bringing the hardware back here to the Houston area.
No doubt about it. By the way, I want to pass this along as well. We've got an interview up on both our Facebook and Twitter page, Texan Live, that our own Mark Johnson did with Kingwood Park head coach Clayton Maple. So if you want to check that out, please, TexanLive.com, Facebook, and Twitter as well. Coming up on TexanLive.com, Saturday action. We've got 4 games on the docket and more playoff implications on the line. Bailey Logston has the preview. Take a look.
Coming up Saturday on TexanLive.com, 2 undefeated teams meet at Pridgeon as Langham Creek and Cy Fair play for a district title. Cy Woods faces Cy Ranch. 2 old rivals meet at Thorne, Aldine, and Eisenhower. And it gets all started at 11 in the morning with Cinco Ranch and Tompkins. Texan Live, your home for live and on-demand high school sports.
Well, as Bailey mentioned there, Bert, that Langham Creek and Cy Fair game, that is battle for outright district championship. Both of those teams 8-0 going in. The only unbeaten teams to meet in the district finale. Now, I want to mention this. North Forest, Klein Collins, Westfield, Katy, Magnolia West, Manville, Angleton, also unbeaten teams to enter the final week of the regular season. All tremendous seasons from those programs.
Yeah, and, you know, in Klein College, you know, I keep going back to Juzaboda and what he's done there, and even Klein this year. You know, it's just, that's another one of those districts. You know, look what the Woodlands has done. You know, they lost to Katy, and that is their only loss, and they lost that game right at the tail end of it. I actually was on the color with Michael Silvers on that game, and that was a game that it looked like the Woodlands was in control of. You know, they took the opening kickoff, ran it back for 102, 104 yard, depending on exactly who you're talking to, touchdown. But, you know, the Woodlands is another team that's really good. You've got Huntsville that, you know, there's just so many schools from the general area here out of the Houston area that can get hot during this playoff run. It's just one of those deals. Who will make a mistake? Where will special teams come into play? And who will actually finish every game and bring home the trophy at the end of the year?
No doubt about it. And we had a lot of drama over the course of the last couple of days, and certainly some more to come on Saturday. Make sure you check it out all on TexanLive.com. Want to remind you as well, all this Friday night action coming up on TexanLive.com of the playoffs, you can check it out live. Make sure you don't miss a thing. Playoff passes, tickets, check it out, TexanLive.com. It's all there for you. Bert, we've done a lot of football already, and we've got a lot of great more football to do here in the coming weeks.
Well, and it's just great. We partner with Cron.com and, of course, Cron High School Sports and Hearst Media, and so this is our first year to be in a partnership with them. Of course, that's been great. Of course, Fox Sports Southwest, this is my 5th year. We give them live feeds from all over. In return, we cover a lot of high school playoffs for them, give them, the feeds during that, and in return, it's just a great working relationship. Tipper and them do a great job. You can tune over there. They're still going live. They got the whole state of Texas, and then those guys do a phenomenal job. Dave Campbell and the crew up there out of the Dallas area, Adam Hoscheffer and all them. It's becoming cool because Texan Live, this is a big state, and we cover the Houston area really well, but there's a lot of other good teams. Cibolo Steel won the Battle Line of 3009. I have no clue what that means, but Steel's another team that always goes deep into the playoffs. They follow us on Twitter. We follow them, and so they put that up. And, of course, you've got the teams up in the Dallas area that are going to bring it because they have a great amount of pride. And, they're almost playing home games up there because it's right near their stadium. So a lot of football to be played. Still 7 weeks before you get to the final ultimate game, which is the state championship. We will cover it up to that. Then, of course, Fox takes it over. They put them on television. But Texan Live will be all over the state. Russell Lambert, Jesse Wolf, Mark Johnson, Dre Matula, and about 34 other employees that work for us throughout the state. Jeremy Branham handed up our call guys. I just can't thank everybody enough that helped make this possible. My wife, Cindy Brocker, it's phenomenal. Bailey Loxton, Heather Coffey. I know I'm forgetting somebody, and I'm sure they'll remind me tomorrow. But, we just got a great team of people here at midnight talking high school sports. This is our passion. This is what we love. And, Sean, what a great season. We've still got at least 1 more week or 2 weeks, just depending on how the playoffs go. And we'll figure out the exact time we're going to run it. Looking forward to it. Hope everybody enjoyed the show tonight. I'm Bert Brocker.
Sean Bajani, appreciate you watching another edition of the Texan Live High School Football Wrap-Up Show. Make sure you check out TexanLive.com for all the playoff pairings. Have a good night, everybody.
One, two, three.